Hello my Polly Pocket friends and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel Vintage Gaudi. Today I want to take you on a Polly Pocket journey from the early beginnings till the Polly Pockets nowadays. So let's get started. Well, you might have been wondering why I have this makeup compact here showing you. Well, this is definitely not a Polly Pocket compact, but the early beginnings of the Polly Pocket compact has to do with some kind of these makeup compacts. Yeah, the early beginnings of the Polly Pockets were in 1983, where the British designer Chris Wiggis made out of an old powder box for his daughter a little playhouse, a little dollhouse, so she can take the compact with her and play outside. He took an old powder box, an empty one, and kind of this one, and used the empty places here and here to create a little dollhouse for his daughter. This is very amazing, and I like the idea that the father made this possible for his daughter to play. So very cool idea from the father, and that was the start and the beginning from Polly Pocket compacts. Later in history, as from 1983, where the father Chris Wiggs made the Polly Pocket compact, the first one for his daughter, there was Bluebird that bought the license or the rights from the compact, from the design of the compact from Chris Wiggs, and released the first Polly Pocket compacts in 1989. The first compacts were almost 10 of 10 centimeters big. It had to do mostly with some interior of living, some interior of shopping, working, and vacation themes. So they were the first compacts in that themes: vacation, living, shopping and working. The main characters on this Polly Pocket compact is of course Polly, and she's recognizable for blonde hair, a red skirt and a hoop. So a kind of this figure here. Blonde hair, red skirt and a hoop. So this was the character, the main character for the Polly Pocket compacts. In nearly every compact in the early 1989, the Polly Pocket had also other characters. So there were maybe some pets, some animals, or another doll that was with her in the compact. Now I'm showing you one of these early Polly Pocket compacts from 1989. This is the Polly Pocket Townhouse compact, and you can see the interior is a kind of a living space from Polly, her living house. And as I told you, the details or the functions, maybe the functions are not so special. We've got here only 2 doors that open, and that's all of the functions in the early 1989 Polly Pocket compacts. We've got of course the main character Polly, and in this case there is a cat and also a dog that fits in these 2 places from the compact. So these are mainly the first Polly Pocket compacts with less functions but more details, and of course it's very sweet. I like them. Late 1989 Bluebird released other compacts that are much bigger than the first ones and that have other themes and other interior, other kinds to play with. Like this one, the 1989 Cassette Playset. And it works, I'm so happy for this. You can see this is not a theme, it has to do with some fun parts. Here, bowling center, and you can also play a cassette with this. There were other compacts like the pencil writing case, or in the 1990 They were more like makeup sets or hair sets for the girls and boys, maybe for the kids playing with them. Like this one, the pretty hair play set. It also has the theme of a living room and a house from Polly, but has to do with some beauty kinds. So yeah, they released new different compacts with other themes for the girls and boys to play with. So Bluebird Toys released nearly every year new kinds of Polly Pocket compacts. So mostly the 1991 is known for earrings and some lockets. 1992 are also for pop-up lipsticks and also other lockets and rings. In 1993 they made some houses, and so every year had some special themes for the Polly Pocket compact. And they got also some different kinds. With the years the Polly Pocket became new functions itself, like this one here. This is from the 1995 compact, and here Polly has these split legs, so she can ride the horse with her legs. She's got, yeah, she can move her hips. So these were the new functions throughout the years. And one of my favorite functions are the lights. Well, there were compacts that had usually lights in, I think, 1992, the Starlight Castle and other compacts, but this one is one I like the most. So you can see here lighting up. So these were also new functions throughout the years, with more light up, more things to play with, and the Polly characters mostly changed also itself with the split legs for the horse compacts. The Polly Pocket collectors know that there are some variations in colors, interiors from some compacts. I want to talk about that. We've got Bluebird Toys. Bluebird Toys is an English manufacturer, or there was an English manufacturer, they bought the licenses from Chris Wiggs. And Mattel is an American toy manufacturer or company, and Mattel bought some rights from Bluebird in 1989, so Mattel can release Polly Pocket compacts in the American market. So Bluebird was mainly known in Europe, or in England particularly, and Mattel was known in America and some places in Europe. And that is not all. There was a third factory. They released the Angel Pockets. The Angel Pockets was a license from a Japanese company that bought the license from Bluebird. So we had three companies selling Polly Pockets. There were Bluebird in England for the English market and some European places. Then was Mattel for the American market and also in the European. And there was Angel Pocket from the Japanese company for the Asian market. So all over the globe they had Polly Pockets in some different colors, interiors, but mainly in the same shape and mainly the same theme. So I'd like to show you these two compacts. This is the Mitch's Play School compacts from 1989. So I like to show you the differences and what I mean. We've got here the yellow variation and we've got here the orange one. The theme is all the same, and there are only some color differences in this compact. You can see the base here is in blue, this is white. Also here the base in light yellow and light orange, but the main theme is also the same and remains the same. So these are the variation, or this is a variation from Polly Pocket, Mattel and Bluebird. Unfortunately I have no Angel Pocket, but I hope I find some. Throughout the years the Polly Pocket factory, Bluebird Toys, went through some hard times. So they had struggles for selling the Polly Pocket compacts and all the other things they were selling. So in 1998 the Bluebird Toys company was sold to Mattel. So after that change I will say the Polly Pockets made also some changes through that I am not so happy about it. Well, okay, it's my opinion. I'd like to tell you why. I'm collecting only the Polly Pockets from 1989 to 1996, mostly this area. And after 1997 to the early 2000s, they made some changes through the Polly Pocket. The Polly Pocket was getting bigger, had some other stuffs like the clothes is in more like a latex clothes to put on the Polly Pocket, so it wasn't really the Polly Pocket I was growing up with. It has more the character of a Barbie. And also, of course, I was growing older and they were not so cool anymore at this time for me. So maybe this is also a point why I'm not so familiar with the Polly Pockets from the 1997 till early 2000s. From 2003 till 2006, Mattel released new Polly Pockets with some magnets in the foots and in the hands. This is not an original one, but I'd like to show you what I mean. They had in the base of the legs some magnets and in the hands. So there were some kind of compacts or play cases that are full with magnets where the Pollys can stand on these magnet points and move maybe and play with. But there was a danger, really danger. These magnets were all only about 3 millimeters long and they wasn't holding right in the place. So the risk was that the magnets fall down and the little kids are eating them and struggled with swallowing. So Mattel in 2006 called back every of these compacts, every of these magnet sets, and they are not selling anymore these compacts because of the risk of the swallowing. Well, it took Mattel 4 years to relaunch in 2010 a new Polly Pocket compact or a new Polly Pocket series. They made some huge changes to the Polly. She was a little bit taller. She had some increased leg and feet. And yes, the reaction was a little bit mixed because the vintage Polly Pocket collectors wasn't happy about that change. So this is not the original figure from this time, but I like to say that they made her a little bit bigger than the usual Polly Pockets, only to show you what I mean. They created a Polly Pocket with some stick legs, some silicone legs I think, and she sticked on the compact, so you can stick her all over the compact. At this time it was in 2018. Also here the reactions from the buyers were mixed. Some are very happy with the sticking things and others were more not so sure about it. Well, that was in 2018. Only 1 year later there was a special year. The Polly Pocket collectors know what special was in that year, 2019. It was the 3rd birthday from Polly Pocket. So Mattel released finally an original vintage Polly Pocket compact for the 3rd anniversary of Polly Pocket. Wow, this was so amazing, and I know they were everywhere here in Switzerland sold out. I had no chance to buy this compact, so I had to wait till 2020 that I finally can buy the Polly Pocket birthday compact. So what was the difference? Well, they made it glittery. The outside is glittery in a purple color. And inside it's the same interior like the 1989 Polly Pocket compacts. So they made also some color changes, but the main part of this compact is the same. If you want to see more details about it, look my video, the links are in the description box. So this was the birthday compact from Mattel. And now, also 1 year later, after the 30th birthday from Polly Pocket, also we are here now in the 2020. Mattel released brand new compacts with some new features that are so cool. I never thought to buy them. Well, the difference, of course, they made some new logos, but the main difference from the Polly Pockets of the 2000s and the vintage one was the Polly. She had no base to stand in, she was sticky, she was out of silicone, and some special things that I'm not so happy about them. And now in 2020, maybe they watched some of the YouTube videos from the collectors of early vintage Polly Pockets. Well, first of all, the main difference was the hinge. So the hinge was back. The hinge was so missed by every Polly Pocket collector, and now it's here, and has also some other functions that are cool. The legs, you can move, the torso you can move, the hands are movable. Yeah, this is the new Polly Pocket from 2020. She's taller than the vintage one, yes, but only because of the hinge and these features, I love this compact. And what Mattel also did was more details in the compact. So we've got the vintage sceneries in the background, we've got more moving parts in the compacts. There are more fun functions in these newer compacts from 2020, and I definitely love it. And now we are arriving in 2021. Everyone I know was absolutely freaking out after they heard that Mattel made new Polly Pocket compacts. So the differences from 2020 and 2021 is not so big, but one matching different is other in these newest compacts. So I like to show you this. First, the main difference is these things stand out. Everywhere in the compact there are some bases stand out. Well, this has to do that the Polly can now stand in place. This is very cool, because after the 2000 years, Polly had no base to stand in. So they made her sticky, they made her movable with magnets, but no base. So this is one of the features from the vintage Polly Pockets. In the vintage one we've got a hole on the ground, but here these things stand out so she can stay in place. And this is why everyone was freaking out of these compacts, because it reminds me or us collectors from the vintage one. So this is a really big plus from the 2021 compacts. And also a very big plus of these compacts are the characters. They made 4 compacts. I made a video about them 2020-2021. Link is in the description box. So also a huge difference are the characters. In these newest compacts are 14 characters, including Polly and her friend. 14 characters, you can place all over it, you can play with them, everything is now possible with these new Polly Pocket compacts. And I was so lucky to find them in Switzerland. They were everywhere sold out, except in one shop, so I had to buy them for me. I bought 2 from 2020 and 2 from 2021. This was throughout the Polly Pocket story from the early beginnings till 2021. What do you think? Which compacts are your favorite compacts? And in my next video I like to do a Q&A. So write down in the comments your questions about my Polly Pocket collection, about my thoughts about Polly Pocket, so I can answer them in the next video for you. And yes, I'm still wondering what Mattel is doing next year. Well, that was my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give a big thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and we will see us in the next video with Vintage Gaudi. Bye!